Welcome everybody back to the Shambam podcast. Today we are just alone with me again. It's not the second, no. Or is it? Is it the second week in a row? I don't think so. I think I actually did have a guest last time. Did I? No. Wow. It is the second week in a row, guys. Well, sometimes you just get those slow times, Or I guess when you're just worried about everything else and you just forget. You know what I'm saying? You just forget. I don't know. But I am gonna be more proactive in getting guests on because it's boring when it's just me, Well, it's not boring. It's boring for you guys because I can just do this forever. I can talk for hours. But, I'm not gonna do that to y'all. I ain't doing that to y'all. In other news, H3 rebranded, man. Well, they didn't rebrand. They just changed their logo. It used to be that yellow. What was it? A yellow on white, kind of design that they had, and now it's purple, white. It looks good, but for some reason it looks more amateuristic. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, I might rebrand too. It just looks cleaner, no? Just looks clean. We'll see. Whenever I do that, you guys will know because, well, yeah, I mean, I post everything on Instagram, so that's where you guys will check it out mainly. Anyway, one of you guys, Simon, he commented on one of my posts on Instagram and said it would be dope if I actually had, an advanced, basically tell you guys in advance who's going to be on that week's episode. Because usually when I have a guest, I obviously know beforehand. And that way it leaves it open for you guys to ask questions if you want to, depending on who it is, if you know the person or if they're in a field, that you guys are interested in art or whatever, even education. Random guess. So I'll be doing that from now on. It was a great suggestion. Don't know why I didn't think about it beforehand, because I've definitely seen that done before. But so that's what we'll be doing now. So that way you guys can ask some questions for the podcast coming up. I mean, I have approached that route, the whole ask me some questions and we'll talk about it. But don't get a lot of activity, man. I think I've gotten maybe one question or so like that whenever I do try to do that, if anything, But that's probably why I haven't gave it too much thought, because if the whole, it just didn't cross my mind, because I was well, I was going to be asking the question, so why even think about it any further, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I'll be doing that from now on. Then you guys can hop over to the Instagram or the Twitter. I do have although I'm not on a lot on Twitter, I do have notifications on. So that way if somebody tweets something and tags me, questions or whatever, I'll be able to see it because it's going to be on my notifications. But that helps me. I'm the worst at texting back. I'm literally super bad at texting back, and I need to stop saying literally. That's overused, but no, I'm really bad at texting back. I used to not be. I used to be really good actually when I was in high school. It's probably because, when you're in high school, you're all insecure and you want to feel, needed, I guess. You want to feel you're thought about, I guess. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. I don't need to really explain it. So I think that's why, when we're all in high school, we all want to feel like we're important to somebody, we matter. We're relevant. There you go. That's the term we were using. I want to be relevant, but, but ever since I graduated and Courtney and I started dating, and then, all that, I just got really bad at texting people back. It sucks. because then I feel horrible when I like forget, and then it's like 2 days later, especially if it's from like my parents, especially my mom. I don't know. It's just, I look at it and I'm like, okay, I'll text back, and then I get like caught up in my day, and then I get caught up in the next day, and then before I know it, it's been a week and I have not texted anyone back. So then I pretend to be a ghost, or like, I don't do this anymore, but I used to do this a ton way back in the day, where I'd be like, oh man, I can't see it. Your text isn't there. Like, it's not here, look. And then I would like delete them. To show them that I was not lying, So I would go to the text and be like, oh crap, I'm gonna delete it. That way I can go up to them and be like, yo, look, it's not even on my phone. I don't know why my phone's spazzing out. I don't do that anymore though. I wouldn't be saying this if I still did. But yeah, I'm horrible now at texting back, and it's not a good thing. I gotta communicate with people, man. Somebody ask me a question, somebody say what's up, I should be like, yo, yeah, what's up? In texting though, because I'm pretty good at like, maybe, when somebody comments on photos and stuff. Hey ho ho, sorry, I'm just yawning. It's 9 p.m. on Sunday night, so I guess I'm just tired. I have been getting like these really bad headaches lately too. Like, I don't know what it is. Like really bad headaches and like getting really dizzy. And a lot of the times it happens like right after lunch, or like right after I eat something, which I was like, this is kind of weird how it kind of tied together. And then I looked it up, like every American citizen does, just to like freak ourselves out. And why is it that every time you look up a symptom, like the internet always tells you that you got like 2 weeks, like, pack up, wrap everything, wrap up everything, all the loose ends, tell your family you love them, say your apologies, you're gonna die, fool. That's what it feels like all the time. And of course, I decided to look it up because I'm a hypochondriac. Is that the term? People who are like thinking they're sick all the time. And then I looked up the symptoms. I was like, yo, I get dizzy every time after I eat. Am I dead? Am I not? What's going on? And it was like, oh, you got this condition and it's incurable, and you basically just need to change your lifestyle if you don't want this to happen to you. So I was like, well, that sucks. But I turned, like, I was just eating normally, and then I was kind of like fighting it in my mind, mind over matter. So, and it ended up working out. So I might just be the biggest wuss on this side of the land. Honestly, whenever I get sick or start feeling bad, that's all I think about is like, am I just being a big baby right now? Like if somebody were, okay, I'm gonna lose you guys for a minute here, because the way I explain things, it's bizarre, but it's stupid. But so sometimes I think, if I'm feeling sick, or like, my side is hurting, my abdomen, there's a little pinching pain going on, I think, what if somebody just came, like, just out of body experience, just, was put in my exact shoes right then, and then felt that pain? What would they think about it? Maybe they're like, oh, this is nothing. Am I just a big baby? Am I just not able to like handle anything? I don't know. You know what else this kind of makes me think about? You guys are on board Kevin's train of thought right now, so just stick with me here. So this I don't do drugs, right? I don't get high. I just feel like this is a topic that could be put in the category of a high thought, along with like almost everything else I say. But colors, right? Colors. We got reds, we got blue, we got orange, we got green. And to me, red is red. Orange is orange, yellow is yellow, as it is to everyone, right? But this is where it gets funny. what if colors in reality are always different? Like everybody sees different things, you know? Like, what if the yellow I see in my eyes, through my eyes, I guess, is the yellow I see that we all know? But like, what if in my world, the yellow you see is like actually green in my world? You know what I'm saying? Through my eyes? You know what I'm saying? Think about that for a second. That just blows my mind. Like, there's no way to tell. There's no way to tell. You can never look out the lens of somebody else's like eye, because like our eyes are just receiving the external information, mainly light that's bouncing off objects that gives it the color it's got, you know, sending it from our eyes to our brain. So even if you had, because this is actually a thing, it's pretty insane, like eye transplant. I saw like a video of this like little girl who got like this eye transplant thing, and then she was able to see. That's the freaking craziest thing. Along with that one time I already said this already in the podcast, but like that dude, you can, like, amputees can cut off their foot. If like their leg is messed up, they can cut off their foot above their ankle, and then they cut the leg off above the knee, and then they grab the foot, they 180 the foot, and they put it back right where your knee was gonna be or used to be, and then your foot reverse like that works as a kneecap, and then they could put their prosthetics and it's a more natural motion and it works. That's insane, dude. But anyway, yeah, so this girl got eye transplant and it works. So like, even if somebody were to, you know, switch eyes, I understand how crazy I sound right now, by the way. So don't even just understand that I do know this is dumb. This is bizarre. This is information that isn't really useful. It's not, knowing this or not knowing this isn't going to change anything about how you're going to, you know, spend the rest of your day or the next days to come. That was a weird way to say that one, but still, just think about it. It's brain, it's food for thought, man. It's food for thought. I was gonna say brain food, but so everything we see is registered in our brain. So like, it's our brain that's actually making these images and all these objects that we understand visible, I guess, or not visible. It's like, that's how we're looking at things. It's really like information sent from our eyes to our brain. I'm not a scientist either, but I'm pretty sure what I'm saying is true. So like, there's no way to tell if my perception of red isn't, you know, is different than your perception of red. Maybe your perception of red is actually blue, but it's all you know, that color has always been labeled in your life as red, and everybody else has their own perceptions of reds. Maybe they all see like maybe a purple or a pink, but it's red. You know what I'm saying? And it's just insane. I don't know. It's just something I always think about. Not always think about. That's stupid. Something I just think about every now and then, you know? I don't know. So I need to stop doing that too. I gotta compile a list of things I should stop like saying. And laughing, man. I laugh way too much. Like, people are like, no, dude, it's chill. I was like, no. I sound like an idiot. I'm laughing at literally, oh, there we go. Literally again, Kevin. Stop saying it. I laugh at a lot of stuff, man. Of what I say. That makes it even worse, honestly. So I got stopped it. I stopped it right there. So that makes it a little funky. Okay, so when I had a guest, I don't know if I brought this topic up, and I don't really know what topic I'm talking about. I just remember I made a note, and I didn't bring it up because okay, no, yeah. Did I talk about this? Shoot, did I talk about this? Did I talk about the signatures, guys? I think I did. My signatures always suck. I remember my mom, her signatures were like really good. Like, It was always the same thing. She's an artist too, so it makes sense. I mean, Josh is an artist, but his signature is trash too, so never mind. But my mom's signature was always the same, and it was like this fancy looking like design kind of thing. Nobody could like fault. You know, kids always like fake their parents' signatures to like sign this stuff. Which, by the way, what was the whole point about that? Like the kids like forging their parents' signatures. Was it that their parents weren't gonna let them go on a field trip or some garbage? So they were like, no, I'm going, so I'm forging it? Or what was it? Or they just got straight up lazy and forgot to tell their parents all the time, hey, Dad, can you sign this? It's that easy. Hey, Mom, can you sign this? It's paper, you know, it's for my education. It's good for me. Why was everybody forging signatures back in the day? Speaking of cheating, oh my gosh. This one girl in one of my history classes, I think I brought this up, but if I did, I'm sorry, and if you heard it, but if you haven't heard this, then I'm saying it right, I'm gonna retell this story. There was this chick in my history class in sophomore year in high school who she would go crazy on cheating, like extremely complicated cheating. And let me explain what I mean by this. So, cheating 101, stage 1. You're peeping over to check on your buddy's answers, right? Or the kid who's always getting the A's, you know. Let's see what they put for number 13, right? Let's take a look. Okay. All right. And you'll do that, you know, and then sometimes, and the reason I know this is because I used to be a big cheat, like when I was way younger too. I stopped doing it because I developed a sense of morality, and then the realization that I'm actually dumb kind of sank in. So I was like, all right, I got to step up my game. I got to stop doing this. So, but this is what this is what you used to do. This is what everybody used to do when, you know, you're a noob. So you're checking, you're looking at the answers when the teacher's not looking. You're scribbling in those circles, those bubbles, right? And then you don't want it to seem like you're copying everything, because the teacher also knows. Remember, you got to remember this. Teacher knows also that you're stupid. Okay. All right, the whole class you've been stupid. You're not gonna be Mr. Smarty Pants on test day, right? That's not how it works. At least those, you know, the smarter cheaters got that part. So you copy enough to pass. So then once you know you have enough to pass, then you can start guessing. You can make patterns with your Scantron, you know, whatever. So that's what you got to do. You know, you got to get some right, and then let's just fill in some blanks right here, because you know they're going to be wrong. And if you get them right, then whoa, what the heck? But, you know, so that's what you do. That's classic A1 cheating. That's just looking at what they got, right? This girl, one time, and I remember she had so many other methods of cheating. I just forget them. But this one time she printed out a legit looking water bottle label. All right. She called up a factory or something. She said, hey, I want a customized water bottle label. Cool, we gotcha. She gave them whatever she wanted on there. I'm just making up a story right now. No factory was gonna, you know, do, but it looked straight out of the freaking lines, dude. Like, it looked professional. That's why it was so brilliant. The teacher would not like look at this, but the water bottle label had the answers on the you know, where it would be like the nutrients or ingredients or all that junk. Like, that's where the answers were. And I was like, excuse me? Like, how much did you pay for that? How much work and thought did you have to do that? And why didn't you just invest all that time and effort into actually studying the stuff so you can actually be smart and then pass the test with flying colors saying, hey, I actually did it and I was intelligent? Like, can anybody explain that to me? How does that work exactly? Come on. She put all this time and effort to get this thing, this water bottle label thing printed out, custom made, shiny, stuck it back onto the water bottle, took the water bottle to class, was drinking as she was cheating. No having to peek over because she's got all the answers right there. Like, can you imagine? Or was there some like dealer around the school who was selling these water bottles with the answers to this test? I don't know. But that was a thing, and I'm not lying to you. I saw it, I witnessed it. I'm pretty sure Josh was in that class, so he can advocate. But advocate, is that the right word? I don't know. He can vouch. What's advocate? What did that mean again? Oh my gosh. What's wrong with me? Advocate. A person who publicly supports or recommends a particular cause or policy. Okay, so it wasn't too far off. Now that I'm not, advocating. I know what that word means, but, yeah. So, I was pretty insane when I saw that, though. I was like, what's going on here? It's pretty crazy. No, but yeah, I used to cheat all the time, mainly, and it wasn't like in high school and stuff where I like cheated. It was way before. It was like in elementary school. Like, I think it was I want to say either fourth grade or fifth grade, something like that. That I came to the realization. I said that like a very not young person. The realization, there you go. I came to the realization that I was actually stupid. And I was doing math homework, and I'd always copy off Josh. Josh was the smarty pants of the group, meaning me and him. But I would copy off him all the time, and I forgot for what reason I couldn't copy off his math homework this one time. And I was like, fine, I'll just do it myself, thinking I can do an assignment. I got this. And then I looked at the papers and the questions, and I was like, what is this language? I have no idea what I was like, is this, I don't know. I was, then no lie, I cried. I cried a little bit, right? Because when you realize that you're actually dumb, that can kind of, cut deep. So, then after that, I decided to change and actually start doing stuff by myself, which was a great thing, man. I'm so proud of myself. So proud of young Kev for taking that step. Just do it myself or fail trying, whatever. It's better to fail than to actually just cheat and do it that way. So look at that. I'm teaching your kids some good morals here. You just gotta do it yourself, man. If you can't do it, then just bomb it, because then you can learn from your mistakes. You can just learn from have you guys ever taken those tests? Remember those tests where it says read the directions carefully, right? Read the directions carefully. Nobody reads the directions carefully. Years of being told that. Through our upbringing in these schools, these public schools, always telling us to read the directions carefully, and it was always the same thing. We got tired of it, man. We got tired. We're not gonna read this. We don't got time to read this, especially when they got like time tests. I don't got time to read this. Boy, there's English sections in this test. I know those things I'm gonna have to read in the freaking pages, 2 pages long in the middle of a test. Dude, those sucked. I think we can all agree that those dumb reading questions sucked. It took me a while, because there's a trick to those. It took me a while to figure out this trick to those ones. Was you don't read the freaking stories or whatever excerpt of whatever first. You don't read it. You just gotta look at the question, see what it's asking you, and then you just be like, all right, this is what the information I need. You skim through, you find the key word, and you answer the question. It took me a while to get that one too. But you know what? There was no time for reading the directions. Directions, you did not need them. So then teachers were like, aha, we figured out yet another way to screw these kids over. Correct? Another way. Let's put in the directions somewhere in the middle, maybe at the end, actually, something saying, hey, by the way, this test is garbage. You don't need to do it. All you got to do is smile, stand up, and give me the test, and you can go, and you passed. Remember those? Did you ever receive those? Actually, that's a question that that I'll ask you. Did you ever get those tests? Because I did. I got like maybe 3 in my whole life of education so far. I got 3 of them, and I think I missed 2. I think I missed 2 of them. One of them I was so proud I got, and I was like, yes. They never really failed any of the students, though. Like, I've heard stories about teachers putting out this infamous test, the directions test, and they would actually like fail or deduct points to the rest of the people who didn't actually do this. None of my teachers actually ever failed or deducted points or anything to anybody who didn't do it. They just gave either extra credit or whatever, or an awareness. Because honestly, think about it this way, right? I think it's kind of garbage. It's garbage if they like deducted points, because these kids still tried, they still tried their best to answer these questions, appropriately. They took their time, and all these kids who read the directions carefully and then saw that little Easter egg were like, oh, we don't got to do this, right? So they just give the test and they leave. So they don't have that mental stress, So what's the big deal if some of these kids didn't read the directions carefully? They're trying. They're good students. That's what it comes down to. Why would you subtract points? That's leaving a bad taste, Not only did you trick them, not only did they have to endure the fact that they didn't need to endure those freaking 45 minutes of testing. They could have just walked away, and to top it off, they got deducted points. Come on, man. Come on. That should be punishment enough, honestly. If they actually go through the test, that should be the punishment. You're going through the test, buddy. So, yeah, but those tests, man, they were something else. There was something else, man. I don't know if they do those that much anymore. I don't even know when those actually really like started, but yeah, anyway. A couple things you guys can be looking forward to. Actually, not really. This is what I'm going to be looking forward to, because this is just my life. But so I've already talked about the car, right? I got an FRS. If you guys start questioning why I'm speaking in like a kind of slightly like a Queens accent, New York, I don't know. It was a cup of coffee I had the other day. But so I got the car, right? And the first thing I'm gonna do, I am gonna mod it. There's no doubt about it. I've always wanted to mod cars, like really mod them, like get like the body kits, new headlights, tail lights. I don't do really like too flashy, but like but very, very flashy, So the first thing I'm gonna go with is an exhaust. I already know what I'm getting. I'm not gonna shout it out yet because I just kind of want it to be a surprise, for the Instagram followers. I might make a new account for just my car. Who knows? That might be a thing. Or maybe not. I could just keep it. Yeah, I'll just keep it myself, actually. I'll just post it on my Mevin Koida. Not the Shambam, but the Mevin Koida. I don't need 3 accounts. Come on. I don't need 3 accounts. But, yeah, I'm going to do the exhaust first. I'll do that. And then after that, I think I'm going to... Ooh, wow. Excuse me. After the exhaust, I'm gonna lower it and get new wheels. That's gonna take a while, boy, because those things are pricey. They're pricey, man. Both of them. To get coilovers in cars, man, it's like freaking above $1,000. Are you serious? Some coilovers? Pretty sure it costs way cheaper to make those, man, but they just sell them so dang much. It's like, come on. I'm not made out of money. That was my Christopher Walken. Yeah, Christopher Walken. Impersonation. Can I even speak English? Sometimes I don't know. But Yeah, they're so expensive. So I'm gonna do that though. I'm gonna get the exhaust first, and then I'm gonna lower it, and then get new wheels. I might get new headers as well, because it just makes it louder, you know. But we'll see. It'll all come. I have plenty of time to think about this because it's gonna take me plenty of time to get the money. So, but yeah, I mean, look forward to that. If you're a car guy, if you enjoy watching cars get modified, or you just like seeing beautiful cars, then I'm gonna do that to mine, so stay tuned. I have been dodging spoilers left and right, by the way, on Kingdom Hearts 3 videos, because they're everywhere. Trailers, I have to avoid those because, you know, sometimes they'll add characters on there that I don't know if they're gonna be safe or not based on what I'm at right now. So I can't watch trailers. I'm avoiding all the trailers. There's so many, you know, recommended videos on YouTube, walkthroughs, let's plays, endings. I hate that, man. I hate when people like, or not even like when YouTube recommends me like the final boss Kingdom Hearts 3, and then it shows like the thumbnail. I'm like, my eyes, I could not like look away faster because I don't want to see that thumbnail. You know, sometimes these YouTubers, they'll make the biggest mistake ever, and on the thumbnail they'll have like the biggest spoiler on there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, geez, man, it's been tough. It's been tough, man. It's been tough. I'm still in Kingdom Hearts 2. I beat the first one. I'm trying to do this right, man. I'm trying to do this right. I beat the first one. I skipped Chain of Memories because that's bonus content that I don't really need right now. I'll play it later. That was the first ever Kingdom Hearts game I ever played though on the Game Boy Advance. So fun fact. But I skipped Chain of Memories for now because I just want to get the story down. People usually, you're supposed to watch the movie, I guess, before you play Kingdom Hearts 2. But I was like, you know what? People did talk about also that the movie has spoilers for the second one. So I wanted to kind of come into the second one like without knowing about, you know, about because of those spoilers. So I'm playing the second one right now. After the second one, I will watch the movie, and then I play Birth by Sleep, and I've played that one. There's 3 different arcs in that story, in that game, and I beat 2 of them, and I was at the end of the last one, which was Aqua's, but I never got past the last boss, because I was a wimp, and I never did it, and then I never knew where my PSP went, so I couldn't finish it. So, depending on how I feel after I beat this one and watch the movie, we'll see if maybe I'll just kind of skim through just to remind me what the story of those arcs were. But I kind of remember them, so I might end up skipping that one too, as far as the replay goes. And then I will go into I forgot what it was called. Anyway, there's another one that I play, and then I get to play number 3. Or maybe there's another one after that. There's so many. It's hard to keep track, man. I probably lost you guys when I was just even explaining that. But yeah, so as soon as I get those done, I'll be able to play the game. Now that we're talking about video games, I just got one too. I was playing it just now, like a couple minutes before I even started the pod. Resident Evil 2, guys. The new Resident Evil game that just came out like last week or so. It came out with Kingdom Hearts 3, I think. Actually, I'm not so sure, but yeah, it's so nostalgic. The first Resident Evil game I've ever played was Resident Evil 4 for the GameCube, and I fell in love with that game. I was such a kid, and I don't honestly remember actually being afraid of Resident Evil. You know, like it was just a cool like. You know, you're playing as Leon Scott Kennedy, and you're just going into Spain and just tearing crap up, man. Like you're unstoppable. You're like this action star from Hollywood, basically. That's kind of like what they went with, what they were going for. Like you could tell, you know. But I was never like afraid in any part of that game. Maybe there's a couple parts that I was, you know, a little uneasy or scared a little bit, especially because I was mad young, man. But I wasn't like you know, so I don't remember that as much, but boy, this one's got me on my toes, man. Jeez, it's scary. This game's scary, man. It's so well done. So this one, If you guys don't know anything about Resident Evil, Resident Evil 4, the one I was talking about, was set in Spain, and you're using Leon. That's the protagonist, and you're trying to find the president's daughter who was kidnapped, right? So it's a very Hollywood-esque story, you know, trying to be like action star kind of thing. But in the Resident Evil world, the first place where these outbreaks started happening, I'm not really good at actually the lore behind this because I didn't really play the other one, so I might be wrong. It's between these two events. So the big outbreak in the fictional city of Resident Evil called Raccoon City, where there's this giant zombie outbreak, and Leon, you use Leon in this one as well. This is like early on in his police days, actually. He was going in on his first day, and there's this just zombies everywhere. So pretty eventful first day, I must say. But then there's that was Resident Evil 2. So there was a game originally. So I don't know if they like just remastered this one, you know. But there was another game called Resident Evil 0, and I had a remastered version of that one for the GameCube, and that says a lot about, you know, how old that game is. They remastered it on the GameCube, and I played that one. And I'm not. That might be actually the first like appearance where, like, you know, in terms of the storyline of Resident Evil, that might be like where the events first unfolded. Wow, guys, I had pizza and soda, and that'll do to me. It'll just give me the hiccups like crazy. But anyway, so yeah, so now I'm playing the Resident Evil 2, the latest one that they just made. And it's nostalgic in a way, you know, because you're using Leon. I played Resident Evil 4 as Leon as well when I was way young. But it's like different, dude. It's so scary, man. Like, you're in a police station. It's super dark, and like these zombies just show up out of nowhere, and then you got like no bullets left, man. Like, you're just so scared, dude, because you got like nothing, man. You like walk around and stuff, and there's like no ammo. So you're like, dude, what do I do, dude? There's like 3 zombies in front of me, man. Like, what do I do? So that's how I feel, man. It's so freaking scary, dude. But it's fun, man. Like, totally, dude. I wonder if that's an actual stereotype that other people in the world think is like Americans, or at least Californians, you know? In my time in the Scouts, when we've gone to different states, I know that like Utah thinks that we're that way, probably. Because like we went to this high adventure camp, right? It sounds super scouty. We went to this high adventure camp, and this one counselor was there. She was like our age though. Like, she wasn't even like older, but she was like, I guess, you know, the little authority you give to people will change them. But she was like, so where are you guys from, huh? Or like, oh, we're from California. We're from Modesto. And then she was like, from where? Modesto. And we can't say Modesto and like expect people to know, because people anywhere else think California, they only think about, you know, San Francisco, San Diego, or Los Angeles, or other key ones like maybe Sacramento, Fresno, you know, but not really. Modesto is definitely not a common one that people know. So we always have to say like San Francisco area, you know, even though we're like maybe like what? Not too far away, I guess, but we're, you know, a couple hours away. But, you know, that's what we have to do. That's kind of what I have to do too, because I was actually born in Ventura. But a lot of people don't know Ventura. They only know Los Angeles, you know. So sometimes they're like, so were you born here? When I explain them the extensive list of my origin, my background, like, I was born here, then I lived in Mexico, lived in a couple cities over there, then came back over here, and I'm bilingual, and I speak a couple other languages a little bit. You know, it's such a puzzle. So then whenever I say that I was born here, they're like, oh, where? And I was like, oh, Ventura. And they're like, what? Ventura. I was born in Ventura, California. Where's that? And I'm like, okay, it was L.A., you know, like L.A. I was born in L.A. So I always have to say I was born in L.A. because then, like, nobody will, like, understand. It's really complicated, you know. But, like, It's closer. I think Ventura's closer to LA than Modesto is to San Fran. So I mean, they're pretty close. You know, they're in the same vicinity, so it's not that far fetched. But yeah, I wonder if like other places actually think Californians like, yo, dude, like, you down to surf, man? Who knows? But anyway, guys, I guess we'll wrap it up. Before we do that, dude, Milo did the biggest oopsie in a long time just now. Like, we ordered pizza. This was today, so this was like maybe an hour ago. We ordered pizza, 2 boxes of pizza, man, because we're lazy. We're lazy. And the pizza got here. We all ate like the top one, and then I think I ate like one slice off the bottom one. And then I was just playing Resident Evil on my computer, and Courtney was doing her homework on my laptop and the Mac. And then I hear these boxes fall, and then I look, Milo's not here in the room, and I was like, garbage. I knew exactly what he did too. So I come over, and sure enough, he had pulled the pizza box down to the floor, and the pizza just face first on the hairy floor because Milo just sheds like crazy, dude. There's freaking hair everywhere on the floor. So all of that pizza was gone. Not gonna lie, I got a little mad. I gave him a couple good smacks, and then I tossed him outside for a little bit. Then he came back inside, and then he knows. He's smart enough to know when he's in trouble. You know, he knew he did something wrong. But you know, you just gotta like, it's you know, when you have a pet, you still have to be like, you know, a parent. You know, you're parenting the pet, man. You gotta let him know when he's out of line, when he did something wrong, you know. So I haven't showed him any love since then, so he still thinks I'm mad at him. I mean, I am. I have to be. So, and even if I didn't have to be, I'd be mad, man. That was a lot of pizza. I paid for that pizza. But and he has food and everything. It's not like we starve him, man. You know, just dogs just want to get to everything. But anyway, so that's a nice little thing. Hate me if you want, but you know, you just gotta give him a good smack. When I was a kid, I was disciplined because I was a bad kid, man. I was so wild and crazy and disobedient at times, and I was hit, man. I was smacked, and good for me, I gotta say. Where are people getting the facts that if you freaking hit a kid, they're gonna come out so abusive or it's gonna hurt their feelings and that? It's like, dude, no. I was freaking beat up as a kid. I appreciate it, honestly. Like, I couldn't thank my mom enough. I wouldn't be the guy I am right now, you know? Pretty reasonable. People tend to like me, you know? I came out all right. And it's because I was freaking beaten as a kid. Honestly, man, that's gotta happen. If a kid's getting out of line, if your kid is getting out of line, he starts, you know, disrespecting you or just keeps doing, you know, bad things around the house, and so give him a smack, you know? Jeez. Why is everybody like freaking out at the thought that you gotta like hit your kid every now and then? You know, it wasn't too long ago then when it was accepted and people came out decent, man. Come on. There's plenty of people, and I the reason I'm not even shying away anywhere from this, because I know plenty of people are like agree with this too, man, that are like me, you know. We all, you know, if you're any kind of reasonable person, you know that it's nobody's hitting a kid out of freaking rage. Well, of course there are, you know, this is just an evil world, but what I'm talking about, the discipline part, it's not out of rage, it's not out of like spite, it's not that I want to hurt the kid. No, it's so I can let him know that he is doing wrong, and that way he has that bad feeling about that particular wrong thing he did, you know? My mom hit me a ton, you know, when I was a kid. I still love her, man. Like, what's the big deal? People think that as soon as like the parent lays a hand on their kid, like their relationship's just over with. I don't understand. But anyway, I went on for a little too long, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I'll announce sometime in the week. Maybe I'm not sure when I'm gonna be announcing when the guests will be coming in, but I'll try, you know, to get that out and with enough time for you guys to like catch it and ask questions if you want to. So stay tuned for next week's upload. Make sure you go follow us on the Twitter, on the Instagram, like the Facebook page if you haven't already. Instagram is where you can catch me most of the time. If you want to DM me, say hello, ask a question for the next podcast, go ahead and do so. We'll catch you next time. Thank you so much for listening. Peace out.